What are you planning, Supreme Dalek?
Your duplicates will return to Gallifrey, where, at our command, you will assassinate the members of the High Council.
No!
Hello, it's Who Time, and today we're looking at a special full-size prop replica, the Supreme Dalek as seen in Resurrection of the Daleks. Now, for those veteran viewers of my channel, you may have seen this Dalek twice before.
It featured in my half-size Dalek prop video, as it was a helpful reference in showing the scale of the half-size baby Dalek, and it also featured in my Dalek World Record attempt video back in 2019. I'll talk a little more about that later in this video.
Now, let's talk more about this lovely prop itself. Now, I actually bought this prop replica back in 2018 as somewhat of a wreck off a bloke who lived on a farm in Wiltshire, who was selling off a large collection of Dalek prop replicas that he had in his barn in order to fund medical costs.
Back then, it was in a Remembrance Renegade Dalek colour scheme. It was missing the hemispheres, or hems for short. The mesh in the neck and the middle slat sections were both rusty, and the wooden eye was rotting with the paint peeling off. It was missing some of the wheels underneath as well. I was undecided whether I could fix it up myself, mainly due to the lack of hems, but fortunately the seller had some spare ones knocking around when I inquired further. So I bit the bullet and bought this Dalek in need of TLC for £400. I had to go and pick it up in my old Toyota Aygo. I actually managed to Tetris it fully into my car, and then I realised I couldn't see out of any of the back windows or out the passenger side mirror, so I ended up doing 2 trips to get it back home safely. Over the summer it became my little project. I of course replaced the mesh and the screws of the neck and middle slat sections, as they were rusted as I said. The whole neck section was out of alignment with the strut placed in the middle at the front, so I needed to adjust that, as that's just plain wrong. I removed the plastic sheeting inside of the neck as it looked cheap, and added an extra mesh layer instead. Plus, one of the struts on the neck needed replacing too. I of course added the hems on using epoxy resin to secure the screws inside, and then secured them against the skirt using a nut. I added new caster wheels underneath with a high ground clearance, with some extra material added to the fender to hide the wheels from view.
Instead of keeping the original colour scheme, I thought I always loved that black and white look the Supreme Dalek had in Resurrection. Plus, you don't really see this Dalek in the black and white as a prop replica at all, so it would be unique.
For Dalek connoisseurs, you'll of course notice that this Dalek prop has the taller 80s Dalek skirt. In Resurrection they were still using the more sloping 1970s Dalek skirt, so this is inaccurate. However, to actually make it accurate to this specific Supreme Dalek prop, I'd actually have to have a different, unique skirt. In the story you don't really see its lower half, and it's for good reason, as it's a mess. Now, there are no shots on screen or behind the scenes that I can find to show this, but the Eagle Moss model represents it. As you can see, it bizarrely slopes out at the back. I was never going to do that to my prop for the sake of accuracy, as it looks horrible. So, with that decision made, I of course painted the body using a lot of satin black and a lovely glossy white for the hems. I of course also had to adjust the eyepiece, as unique to this story, the Daleks have the eye rings going from large to small from the back of the eyepiece to the front. I tried to salvage the original eyepiece, the very front of it, the actual eye, but it was too rotted, so I got in contact with a professional Dalek builder by the name of Steve Allen in Gloucester to make me a new eyepiece. That cost me 50 quid. Go and check out his work on Facebook. He is constantly making Dalek prop replicas from different eras. I think he mainly gets asked to do 60s ones, but he does them all, and he does also all the classic Cybermen, and I think just the heads for the new series iterations. Personally, I've worked with Steve on a Revenge and a Tomb Cyberman outfit, but that's a story for another time. If you want a high quality build for the 2 Doctor Who big bads, he's your man for sure.
Well, there you go. That's how he came to be. I'm proud of the result. I think he looks great. Once he was done, he did make it to a
Dalek Guinness World Record attempt in Chippenham back in 2019. The record was to get as many Daleks in one place as possible. Both props and accurate costumes were accepted in the count. Alas, we didn't quite beat the original record, as not everyone with Dalek props could make it. But it was a fantastic day nonetheless. I volunteered and helped Colin Baker with photos and signatures over the afternoon. If you want to see more, check out my aforementioned video on the convention.
Sadly, due to COVID and the cost of living crisis, another attempt hasn't been organised. But hopefully in the future we can have another crack at it. So assume you're at home wondering if you can get inside the Dalek. Well, you can.
It comes apart in 5 sections: dome, neck, middle, skirt, and fender. However, I haven't modified the Dalek further with a seat or covered up any of the sharp bits, so it may be a little uncomfortable standing in there, as you may get caught on mesh, screws, or nuts.
Neither have I installed any electronics for the lights or sounds, because I have no idea where to start with that. It was always intended to be a lovely display piece in the house anyway. And it certainly is a lovely prop replica as it is, and it was also a great summer project back in 2018.
Now I need to set my sights on my old This Planet Earth Genesis Dalek licensed prop replica called Derek, as he really needs some TLC. It would be nice to do a video on him someday. Before that though, there will be a video on these 2 hideous chaps over here.
And that's all, folks. As usual, don't forget to like, comment, hit that notification bell, go and give me a follow on X and Insta at the links shown on screen as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.